It's here. From America's heartland and the banks of the mighty Mississippi, this is Steel Revolution.
You like that?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, you recording now?
Maybe I am.
Welcome to Steel Revolution number 15. I don't know what to call this. The light edition. No mic.
Could be. Well, yeah, without Mike, it's light.
So if you're keeping track at home of how many words Mike gets in today, it's going to be an easy one.
Just like the other podcasts.
Yeah. Similar to the other ones.
And who are you?
Roy Hutt.
I'm Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer.
I mean, Sean Geison's my bad.
I got a clip from him to play
Jeez.
later. That's a good one.
Well, how did you get it? Did you wiretap it, or?
It came through my microwave.
Touche. Wow, that was good. That was good.
Thanks. We are here to try to update on the news, try to update on what's happening in Iowa as small government makes way for the big government. If it has anything to do with worker issues, then it's either going to be the state or the feds come in to regulate that, because we want small government unless it helps the workers, and then we got to crack down on them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me see. Local 105 updates. March 29th will be the next movie night. Civil and Human Rights Committee will be showing Salt of the Earth, and we'll have popcorn and water provided.
Starts at 6:30, right?
That's right.
All right.
Thanks for that backup, so I left that out. The Women of Steel has a cheer basket or booze basket, whatever you want to call it.
I like booze.
Yeah, I do too.
Of course you do.
Anyway, there's a bunch of booze to be drawn. March business meeting, which will be on the 21st, Tuesday the 21st. They'll be drawing for the winner of that, and whoever has that, I hope you have a party.
Where do you get the tickets at?
You got to contact the Women of Steel, come down to the hall, or get them the night of the business meeting. That's when I'll be getting mine.
All right.
This Friday, the 17th, the QC Federation of Labor is having the night at the rink. $10 seats anywhere, as long as you show proof that you're in the union, and that's, of course, $2 hot dogs, $2 beers. The poker tournament, which was last Friday, the Next Gen Poker Tournament raised, be north of it. It was at least $1,000 for the Quad City Autism Center, so good job to those guys. And then, let me see, June 3rd is our charity golf tournament.
Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh?
So registrations for that will be showing up here fairly soon.
Oh, it looks good on you, though.
And then local news out at the plant.
Local.
April 3rd is the shift preference lock. So if you want to change shifts, you got till April 3rd at 7 a.m. And let me see. Got some stuff that I scribbled on here that you don't got, Sean. The website is updated. That's now President Greaves' baby. And he is adding stuff all the time, and there should be some other news about it. Doing some good stuff with that website.
Good.
Moving on, like I said, the main reason to have this now, we want to try to update on Iowa before, hopefully, next podcast will be talking to someone that knows more than we do about what's going on in Illinois. ASME Council, watch out for that, Sean.
Sorry about that.
ASME Council 61 is suing to try to block the collective bargaining. Of course, that's the gutting of Chapter 20. It says here, this law is unconstitutional. Danny Homan, president of ASME Council 61, said during a news conference. Of course, the bill was passed, and Governor Braindead signed off on it, and critics say it was a farewell gift to the governor before he becomes the ambassador to China. Danny Holman goes on to say, well, I'm giving Terry a different kind of present now. I'm giving him a lawsuit. So good luck to those guys. Hopefully they make some progress and stop that. To go along with that, the only person in the room that was there when Governor Braindead signed the bill was Americans for Prosperity. Iowa Director Drew Klein was the only one in the room there. And I know there's some legal issues with him even being there because I guess he was lobbying before he should have been, or without proper, I guess, what do I want to say? Without the
Credentials?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Thanks, Sean. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. Moral support.
But anyway, he was the only one in there. Again, that further shows that, it wasn't something that came from the constituents. It was purely something Americans for Prosperity
And who runs that?
wanted. The Koch brothers.
Oh, get out of here.
The Koch brothers. So, anyway, that was the only one in there when Governor Braindead signed that. And let's see here. If you have been paying attention, what passed through the House and the Senate, House File 295 was approved on a 56 to 41 margin. Representative Bobby Kaufman, a Republican from Wilton, was the only Republican to break the ranks. That was the minimum wage bill. So when the state couldn't get off their ass and do what's right and raise the minimum wage, counties did. And this bill makes it illegal for the counties to set their own minimum wage. So anybody that was 65,000 Iowans that was going to get a raise, you're not going to get a raise now. And one correction, I skipped it. So on our last podcast, I said it was a straight party line vote for the gutting of the collective bargaining for public sector employees. It was in the Senate, but in the House, 6 Republicans did vote no. So want to correct that. I was wrong. Let's see. Go back to the House File 295 for the minimum wage. In addition, that bill prevents cities and counties from setting their own minimum wage, of course, and then also prohibits them from requiring things like paid family leave, implementing a soda tax, and banning plastic bags. So, of course, the main one for working people is the paid family leave. Nope, can't have that.
I guess you're screwed if you want to get a pop and put it into a bag then, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, they wanted to go, that was to get away from plastic and use the reusable bags. But anyway, so some of the things, and I believe we went over some of this in the previous podcast. So things that did get taken away from the bill was language that protected landlords who did not want to rent to those who use federal housing vouchers, such as participants in the federal Section 8 program that helps the poor. So that got taken out. Also that got removed is the provisions that blocked local governments from passing stronger civil rights protections than those detailed in the Iowa Civil Rights Act. So some good things did stay in there. Other Iowa news that they did, let me see. So not only did they work to lower wages, but then they're working on a different bill to lower the wages of working Iowans on local road construction projects. It takes away the prevailing wage, so paying the higher wages. So again, all this is going to do is have people like, good old Dick's, which I'm going to have a hard time getting my wife and kids not to want to shop there. Places like them that have out-of-state workers come in, out-of-state construction crews come in, work in our area, turn your back on the local workers that go to your store. Same thing for the roads, takes away the prevailing wage, so you don't have to pay higher wages, and they can turn it over to the lowest paid people to do those construction projects, and it takes out a Buy American provision. So the steel for the new bridges, anything like that now can be Chinese steel, and forgot to unplug the phone.
I think it's brain dead calling from China.
It could be
Chinese
That's-
steel.
Well, hey, yeah, ambassador of China.
There you go.
Good call, Sean. Yeah.
That's a good call too.
You're radio gold on here. You don't get that kind of stuff from Mike.
No, you don't. That's the thing.
So anyway, again, call your state senator. The number is 515-281-3771 and tell them to vote no on Senate File 184. Again, that's the one that takes away prevailing wage and takes out Buy American provisions. And let me see here. We're going to move on to some of the work comp. And I've got some audio from State Rep Scott Orth. We are going to listen to that and then come back and talk about work comp.
I'm now going to turn it over to Representative Orth if he has any comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For those of you who do not know me, this business right here is kind of a costume I have to wear when I'm serving as a legislator, which now I am doing in my 5th year, and it's a great honor to have been elected by the folks back home. But when I'm not in this General Assembly, gentlemen, I'm a member of Operating Engineers Local 234. I suit up with my PPE on every day just like you do. I've been on pipeline jobs, wind turbine jobs, the bridges you folks drive over every day without ever thinking about the safety of those bridges or highways or all the other things were put together and built by these people and me. We work in rain and mud and 115-degree heat. We show up every single day for work and put in 12 and 13-hour days. This last summer, I worked 42 days straight with no day off. And that's not because my union said I had to do that. That's because that's what my company demanded of us. And we stood up and we did it. We work tired, we work hot, we work sore, and we work stiff. And we're proud of it. I'm going to tell you something. This used to be a worker-friendly state, and in the last 4 weeks, I've watched that go down the tubes. I would not encourage anyone in the Building Trades Union, of which I proudly serve, to come to the state of Iowa now. I'd encourage them to go to another place where they'll be taken care of if they get hurt. And trust me, when you drive around on all these bridges and all the nice things we've done, putting those things together, lifting that steel, getting that concrete just right, all that heavy equipment moving all around and up and down, people get hurt, and they get hurt badly through no fault of their own. Now, I'm the Iowan that this legislation is hurting. This is my family we're talking about. This is personal to me. And I'm having a hard time with it because the friends, and I call them friends, who have drafted and conceived this bill are willing, should I be injured in a crushing injury or something like that, should I be rendered completely and permanently disabled at age 58, which I am now, by some mishap in my workplace that is of no fault of mine, that at age 67 my friends in here are willing to turn their back on me and walk away. Nice knowing you, Scotty. Good luck. You have the gall to talk about the sanctity of life. Don't do that with me anymore if you're going to pass this bill, because that flies in the face of any language regarding your valuing me. It's obvious to me now that my work has no value. You don't give it a second thought. Moreover, it's obvious to me that my health and well-being don't mean very much to you either. And that saddens me greatly. So I will not sign the bill. And if I have to, I'll look for work in another state, a state that values me, values my work, and cares what happens to me and is willing to catch me and pick me up should something bad happen to me. I challenge anyone who has drafted this bill or who is in favor of it, sitting in your air-conditioned offices doing the things you do, to job shadow me for 6 weeks before you pass this bill. Come out with me and do what I do to build the great state of Iowa and to make it the great place it is. Job shadow me for 6 weeks, and I guarantee you your perspective on this bill will change dramatically. Thank you for letting me have my say, sir.
Thank you. Wow.
Well, coming back after that audio from Representative Scott Orth. Further go along, and this piece of paper I'm reading from, you can find the actual writing and everything on the work comp law and what how it affects workers on Brad Greaves' baby, the new and improved website.
And what's the website address?
It's a good question.
Is that uswlocal105.org?
Yeah.
All right. I'll double confirm that, though. I have it saved, so
I think let's we'll have other breaks and we'll make sure we get that on there.
and we can always edit this part out too.
Yeah. No. No, it's gold. So the new and improved worker comp law, not that the laws are in the favor of workers anyway, because you do not have control over who you see in your care. The company directs that. It will reduce the benefits drastically reduce the benefits available for common types of shoulder injuries. So it really screws you over.
So they're getting down to the nuts and bolts of injuries then.
Yeah, well, instead of having a shoulder be like a injury that they call like a body as a whole, it's more like a finger, like, so it's one piece, so they can cut that up and give you less. When if you lose your shoulder, it's a big deal because it affects your work and what you can get for work in the future. So, but it's it eliminates benefits based on the employee's loss of earnings power due to an injury. So if the employee returns to work for a short period of time and then gets terminated, it'll cut their benefit. So which gives the employers, what are they going to do? Well, we want to save our costs, so we're going to bring you back, probably light duty or whatever, and then we're going to find a reason to fire you and get rid of you. Let's see, it discriminates against older workers, which is usually the age here is 67. So an Iowan who permanently or is totally disabled by a workplace injury, their benefits would cease at 67. Or limit their weeks of benefits. So if you're old,
You're screwed.
yeah, fuck you. You're old anyway. We're not going to pay you anything for getting hurt at work. But you hope nobody has to work that long, but more and more people are having to do that. Employers can deny claims due to a pre-existing condition. So if you had something somewhere else and you work now, aggravates it,
So sorry.
Yeah, too bad. So sad. Changes the point at which an employee must report an injury or lose the right to claim benefits. Again, another, it's in the favor of the company. It eliminates the current rate of 10% interest paid on late weekly benefits. So if your employer doesn't pay you your benefits, there is a 10% penalty or interest penalty. Now they don't have that. So before, when you talk about work comp laws, the employers do nothing but delay and deny. So this part of the law was obviously there, so they would pay you on time. Well, now they don't have that. So do you think you're going to get paid on time?
Nope.
No. Eliminates the ability for injured workers to seek payment for future weekly benefits in a lump sum. And then the other part, it permits employers to avoid payment of benefits awarded by the commissioner while the employer seeks review of the reward, leaving the injured worker without benefits for what could be 2 or 3 years. They will starve you out. Again, in what I was reading, that the Cost of the insurance has not went up. Cost of the claims not really gone up. Iowa's paid out benefits had gone up, but that was due to other states already cutting their worker comp benefits. So Iowa, which was, I think it was, the article was somewhere around 2006 or so, Iowa was 45th in the nation for what it paid out in workers comp. Now is up to 24, and the only reason they jumped up that high was because the other states cut them already. So Iowa was paying out more, taking care of their workers. Again, the work comp law is not for the worker; it is for the company, and now the company is going to take even more of that.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Go with Sizzler. We go with Sizzler. We go with Sizzler.
I always heard that and was wondering where that came from, and now I found out.
Now you know.
Yeah, it's White Man Can't Jump. So in other Iowa news, let's see here. Mark Shelgren is the, he is a senator in Iowa's 41st district. Apparently they had to change what's on his bio, that he said he had a business degree that turned out to be a certificate from Sizzler.
You want to go to Sizzler and get some grub?
It goes, and this was on the Washington Post. So, I waited. I'd seen it on Facebook, but was waiting for some credible news source to get this out because I didn't believe it. But yeah, he had worked in California, and that was part of him getting a promotion. So they will go on to say this is like kind of like a hamburger university at McDonald's.
You should see my Chick-fil-A certificate. It's fantastic.
Is it?
4-year degree.
That'll get you far. But anyway, so that was true, and he went further to say that he didn't know the difference between a degree and a certificate.
Fantastic. That's a smart one right there.
What do you think the difference is, Sean? Like a week or two difference?
Could be.
A week or two compared to a couple years worth of schooling. Oh, well, to go on with more Iowa embarrassment.
Boy,
Former...
It's going to take a whole show for this.
Yeah, former douche of the show, the racist U.S. Representative Steve King.
What a fantastic guy he is, I tell you.
Was back at it. Tweeted. Here's his tweet. He's talking about Geert Wilders, which is a far-right candidate for prime minister in the Netherlands, widely interpreted as being a racist. So, of course, Steve King's on board with him. Wilders understands that culture and demographics are our destiny. We cannot restore our civilization with somebody else's babies. In which drew praise from former Ku Klux Klan Imperial Wizard and Louisiana politician David Duke. But we'll say this, that Republican Party of Iowa Chairman Jeff Kaufman came out against it. And let's see, so did Braindead, and so did Lieutenant Governor Reynolds. So
I have nothing to say about that one.
yeah. And to go further here is to say that
I think him and Duke are going to go to the Sizzler for a steak, though.
they should. They should. There's a federal bill that just found out about. Let's see, it is, looks like it's a House Bill 1364. Limits the time that a union official can spend with federal employees and managers to work towards Resolution revokes unions' ability to stand up for workers that are fired, disabled, or disciplined, or harassed, or intimidated, and steals the pension of a worker who exceeds the limit on the amount of time spent representing employees who have been disciplined, harassed, or intimidated. And there's another one, looks like House Bill 1259, which is a bill that targets Title V and Title 38 rights at the VA, takes away all grievance rights for workers facing removal, demotion, or suspension. Gives agency officials the power to take back compensation you've already earned, and gives management the upper hand in shortening time unfairly fired VA workers can prepare their case, limits the time unfairly fired workers can appeal their case. The hotline to call for that one, to tell your lawmakers to vote no, 1-855-976-5397. That was communications from the Quad City Federation of Labor. So, again, Big Brother wants the states in control, but when that's not doing anything, when you're doing too much good for the working people, the federal government's going to step in. Like fairly soon, there should be a right to work national. I would think. Other news, we're getting a little bit out of Iowa here, but in Arizona, the Senate passed a bill Wednesday to allow the government to seize property of people who help plan a demonstration that turns violent. So it'll make it easy to seize assets. If you plan a demonstration, you're going to have people out there and you plan it, even though your intent is not to have any violence. If it has violence, then you're going to get your assets taken away. The way I see this turning is when you're striking, locked out, picketing, some company to, come in, have somebody go there to hopefully entice some violence. Some violence happens there. Oh, guess what? Now your union's assets are seized.
Put a mole in there.
What's that?
Put a mole in there to
Yeah.
stir the pot.
Yeah. Yep. And then as soon as that, they can, I see it being bad for unions and
Of course.
going to be able to take away, at least in Arizona, your rights to picket. Going to be doing some off and on through the rest of this podcast, be doing some going back and doing some updates. So if you remember back at our Christmas show, talking to Chuck Jones there from the Carrier Local that also represents people at Rexnord. Their facility is closing, and I believe right now they are boxing up machinery there and get ready to ship it off to Mexico. They are training the new Mexican workforce while they're there. There's an article, and tried to share it, but it wouldn't come up. I know it's on the USW. You can get to it from there. I believe the International's website or the Indianapolis Star was who had the article in there, and they were talking to a fellow USW member that was working there, and how they were training their workers, and how he's stepping in to make sure even the what they're calling Team Monterey from even doing the work of packing up their machinery that's being moved to Mexico. And the fellow union brothers and sisters there telling the Mexican workers that's going to be doing their job, we told the Mexican people, if you're making $3 an hour, somebody over in Vietnam will do it for $1.50. So guess what? You're going to be going through the same line or you're going to be going to be in the same line we're in, which is true. That's what companies will do. They'll just keep on moving wherever the cheapest work is. So feel for those guys going through that. And if you're interested in reading the whole article, it's pretty interesting. I believe it's the Indianapolis Star paper. So while going on to other news, U.S. news. While President Trump talks against immigrants and foreign workers, Eric Trump, who has taken over the Trump Vineyards, has, of course, they filed application for H-2 worker visas for 23 people to pay them at $11.25 an hour to work in the vineyards from April to October. Makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Another news, President Trump ordered the Department of Labor to reconsider the Obama administration's retirement savings protection that's due to take effect in April. So this protection was to protect, if you're a retirement investor, to protect your best interest should come first. They should take a back seat to the financial interest of your financial advisor. Second, how your advisor gets paid cannot conflict with your best interest. So what sounds good, more, same as the banking regulations that, they want to roll them back in favor of the big banks and whatnot. This is the same thing. So your financial advisors will get rich while you become poor and hurting your retirement. So what does the protections mean to you? You may lose your hard-earned retirement money by, or at least parts of it, by paying huge price for conflicted interest advice through higher fees and worse returns. So it's good for your advisor, but not good for you. Second, you won't automatically be able to trust your retirement advisor. So all those protections are in there. It gives some teeth to making sure your retirement advisor does what's in your best interest. But again, Trump's asking for those regulations to be rolled back.
Can you say affirmatively that whenever the president sends something,
Oh, it's just Sean Spicer.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. Are you still recording?
Maybe I am.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, we're gonna have some audio from Sean Spicer.
Oh, I'm gonna lose some IQ points. Great.
question that you still have not answered is, can you say affirmatively that whenever the president sends something, we can trust it to be real?
If he's not joking, of course. I mean, but in that case, hold on. But no, you're asking. Hold on.
Start over again with joking.
Oh my! Roy, I never heard that one. That's.
You didn't hear that? I found that. Found that from Vice News.
Oh.
Should we listen to the whole thing now?
That right there, as you would put it, is radio gold.
It is.
But wait, let's listen to the whole thing.
Let's listen to it again. Sean, you can trust the president.
But
if he's not joking.
If he's not joking.
All right. All right.
Play it.
Play it again.
Question that you still have not answered is, can you say affirmatively that whenever the president sends something, we can trust it to be real?
If he's not joking, of course. I mean, but in that case, hold on. But no, you're asking. Hold on.
Start over again with joking.
Okay, no. But your point is, if he's, he every time that he speaks authoritatively, he's speaking as president of the United States. Like it's
more than 3 million Americans voted illegally.
And he still believes that.
Was he joking, or does he believe it?
He does believe it. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I can't stomach that guy.
So, what do you take the presidential tweets then?
Well, is he joking or what? I don't know.
It
looks like a big joke.
It's a presidential.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Well, you can do it better than I.
It's bigly.
Bigly. I used that
Bigly.
word last week, and my wife just laughed.
Oh, good.
I was referring to something, but that's why she laughed.
You're a funny guy.
Bigly. That's funny right there. I'm glad you found that.
So to go back to something that he must have been not
serious or joking.
Must have been joking. Can't be serious. So if you remember, all pipelines are going to be made with U.S. steel. You know, it's going to be great.
Could be huge.
Going to be great. Going to be huge. Going to be putting the steel workers back to work.
Bigly.
Yep. Bigly. Keystone XL pipeline's exempt from that. And I think the Dakota Access Pipeline's close to being finished, and they only used 57% American-made steel. So you know where that's coming from.
So when Braindead travels and moves to China,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just making the correlation there.
Yeah. Get some more China steel products.
That's good right
They're
there.
awesome quality that they got.
Good gravy. All right.
All right, we're back.
Hello?
I don't know. You're gonna have to edit something in there to bridge the gap.
I'll put something creative in there.
Before I started on trying to transition to the next segment, and I didn't think it turned out good, so we had to stop.
I'll make it gold.
All right, Radio Gold. Sean Geisens. I missed that audio.
Moving on.
You gotta edit Mike in here. I don't know if you still got that clip though.
Oh, I got clips.
You got clips? You got clips you can put Mikey in here?
I'm sure I could. I'll work that in somehow.
Miss him a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. We're going to move on to talk about conservative governors and then a very liberal governor. So the conservative governors usually put in large tax cuts that usually result in deficits, credit downgrades, and money not going to, say, something like schools or healthcare programs. So when we talk about that, liberal governor Mark Dayton from Minnesota. Again, I want to say that this article is mainly talking about the figures in it was from 2015. So 2 years ago, this was out. That Mark Dayton took over following a Republican governor that left him $6.2 billion 2-year budget deficit. Dayton's plan was to tax the rich, who himself is rich and the heir to the Target retail fortune. Was his idea was to again tax the rich, and he got the wealthy business and got the chorus of wealthy business owners will flee the state, unemployment rate will skyrocket. But once he had control, not only did he have the governorship, but they had the House and the Senate, passed $2 billion in taxes, which targeted the top 1% earners and included a 25% hike in the state income tax rate to 9.85%.
So wait, he targeted himself?
Yeah.
Even though he's the heir to Target?
Yeah.
I
see what you did with
but
that.
I mean, so he said, hey, tax me.
Yeah. I've got the money. I should pay more taxes.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a 9.85% on an annual income of $250,000. By comparison, Illinois state income tax rate is 3.75%. He also advanced nearly a $500 million jobs bill, which increased the minimum wage. Now thinking back to Iowa, what did they just do?
Mm-hmm.
The counties that tried to raise it? Nope, you're back to lowering it. Increased the minimum wage and indexed it to inflation, expanded all daycare, kindergarten, and increased funding for early childhood education. Now, in the meantime, you got states like Kansas and Wisconsin that are promoting smaller government and cuts in taxes. So let's take a look at their numbers. Again, this is old, but I think it's still relevant here today. Unemployment rate: Kansas 4.2%, Wisconsin 4.6%, Minnesota 3.7%, Illinois 6%. National average was 5.5%. So
Minnesota's way under.
Yep, Minnesota's good there. Average weekly private sector earnings: Kansas $784, Wisconsin $795, Minnesota $891, Illinois $893. So Minnesota, at least on the other two, Kansas and Wisconsin, about $100 more a week people are making up there. Annual GDP growth: Kansas 1.9, Wisconsin 1.7, Minnesota 2.8. Illinois was lacking with 0.9. Average was 1.8. So again, Minnesota by far doing better up there. Looks like this probably would have been 2014 then compared to the article. They added 47,000 jobs then. Further in this article, at that time, Forbes rated Minnesota 9th for out of a category of best states for business. Meanwhile, Kansas was 25th, Wisconsin 32nd, and Illinois 40th. So now, back then, they were boasting a surplus. Again, there's some other numbers here that they said they were claiming 1.8 billion, but then some people said it was around 900 million. So let's say somewhere around $1 billion surplus is what that state had. Now, when you think about it, Wisconsin. This is for 2016, though, is in this article. Wisconsin was facing $2.2 billion shortfall, Kansas $800 million, and Illinois, of course, was $6 billion shortfall. Now, Iowa, in a current report, which you can find on the website, Brad Greaves Baby. Now, you can find this article on the website. Brad just posted it yesterday. Iowa is looking at $131 million shortfall. Corporate cuts made in 2013 now cost Iowa $500 million. So Brain Dead, of course, gave his buddies, and of course the can't help workers, can't help do anything like that, can't help kids, gave them all the tax cuts, which now, of course, they can't take in enough money, so now they got a shortfall. Back at the beginning of the session, Democrats wanted to tap into the rainy day fund to not have cuts in Medicaid, mental health, not have cuts in public universities. They wanted to tap into the rainy day fund. The Republicans that control everything in the state said no. But now guess what, Sean? They have this shortfall. What are they willing to do now? Tap into the rainy day fund.
Of course.
So, just a little cap on where Iowa looks like they're going. Hopefully, we can keep all the changes and all the anti-worker stuff out in front of everybody, along with this budget mess, and try to get some better people in there to represent us this next go around. Update a little bit about Bevin from Kentucky that was on one of our shows. I got an audio clip of a show where they're calling him out for lying, because of course he said right to work was good for the state and it was costing businesses to come there. So play a little audio from that, and we'll come back and wrap the show up.
Let's switch gears to Kentucky politics. Swedish officials have called out Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin, disputing his claim that Volvo would have been built in Kentucky if it were a right-to-work state. Now, you may remember Matt Bevin dropped that line during the State of the Commonwealth address. He was saying it was an example of how Kentucky missed out on businesses before the new right-to-work law. However, somebody went to Sweden and asked Swedish officials, and they say they never told the governor that and that it wasn't true. Volvo USA has also denied ever requiring a right-to-work law in Kentucky to build here. Now, here's why this is a big deal. Right to work, you all folks who watch this know my opinion about it. All it's going to do is make sure that workers in this state make less money. But the argument for it, Drew, is the notion that companies will come here. This is now two companies with Volvo saying, Matt Bevin gets up and says we to come here, but we weren't coming. Do you think it matters that it looks like Bevin is misleading the public?
It does. I mean, he got caught in the classic lie of, like, no one's going to call me out for something the ambassador of Sweden said about Volvo.
Who's calling Sweden?
Like, who in Kentucky is going to figure this out? So he just throws it out there, and I think he said his State of the Commonwealth or whatever. He says it thinking no one's going to fact check it. They did. Turns out Volvo's like, oh, we didn't say that. Sweden say that was never said. And here he
And
is
they
caught in a
didn't
lie.
say it because right to work has nothing to do with companies coming here. That has nothing to do with. That is the biggest lie that is given to Kentuckians. The legislature, and more importantly, the governor, gets up and they tell you all that now that we have right to work, all these businesses are coming. That is a lie. Businesses do not come to states because of right to work. They come because of tax incentives, etc. It is a lie, and I'm glad people in Sweden called him on it. I like the Swedes for doing it.
Right before he said it, he probably had like 20 companies in mind. He's like, oh, Volvo, they'll never, call me out for it. Pick the wrong one. Volvo
If you're
spoke
going
up.
to defend right to work, defend it like this. Get up and say, our business friends want to pay workers less money. Say that. At least that's honest. But getting up and acting like you lost companies because of it is a lie. And thank you, Sweden, for calling out the lie. Good for you, Sweden. I'll buy some Swedish meatballs in honor.
Or Swedish fish.
He must have been joking.
Oh,
He's joking.
Yeah, he's joking.
He's joking.
Well, let's look up on his Twitter account. See what he put.
Yeah, I'm telling the truth. Unless I'm joking. Well, Sean, come to the part of the show.
Oh, the douche of the show?
Douche of the show.
Ah, plenty to pick from.
Plenty.
Is this fake douche of the show, or is this real?
That's real. We're not joking.
Okay.
It's not alternative facts either.
All right.
We got lots. I don't know, Sean. I mean, what do you want to do?
There's too many to pick from, I think.
The state of Iowa and their anti-worker agenda. I'm kind of partial towards making Steve King the first repeat douche of the show.
I thought Nicholas was the repeat. No?
Oh yeah. Well, we can let's put him in the list.
Okay.
Let's put him as number 3 again.
Again.
Let's do Mike can be number 3
when he's not here.
Yeah, when he's not here, he's number 3. So Mike will be number 3. Say the Iowa State lawmakers pushing through their anti-worker agenda be number 2, and I don't know. King to me is number 1. The first, I believe, or the first repeat douche of the show.
We can do that. I'm happy with that. I'm good with that.
All right. It's a new record.
All right. Well, maybe we can give him a certificate.
He's working on a degree
from Sizzler.
All right, till next time.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
This has been Steel Revolution. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steel Revolution Podcast. Questions or comments, email us steelrevolution105@gmail.com. Steel Revolution. Steelworkers. Steel Revolution. The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals and do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers.